Hello everyone, Don here again with the next update on the Corsair project. Alright, so this week I had to finish working on the inner landing gear doors and get the radiator replaced. So you'd seen that in the previous videos. I was working on those things. Did some cleaning up today after I finished what I wanted to do. Got my oven back up on its feet and back where it used to be. So now I got this all cleared out here to work again. It was nice using that for a workbench, but literally I need to get this bench cleaned up so I can use it. Still got a lot to clean up back here. But for the most part, I got done what I wanted done. So let me get right into it. I got the light set up over here so you can see. Alright, there's the new radiator up in place. As you can see, I had to do a little foam work in here. This stuff here is foam and it's coated in some epoxy with flocks, ground up cotton. So that needs to be sanded out a little bit and then throw some paint on it. And then this is what I got. Give me a second, folks. This is what I got for the door to access the radiators for replacement. So that's a piece of aluminum. And it's just painted with some Wimbledon white, which is fairly close to the epoxy white that I got here. It's insignia white or underside white is what it calls for as the actual colors of the plane. So that's how I went about it. So in here, there's a 1-inch strip of plywood, goes a 1/2 inch in here, 1/2 inch under the skin. I took a blade and cut the foam loose underneath the skin and epoxied a piece of like 1/16 inch plywood strips in here. 1-inch strip around there, 1-inch strip here, and then a 1-inch strip in here. And then I've used the little Tinnerman nuts, U-nuts if you want to call them that, to clamp onto the plywood and then attach those. So that's done. And then the other thing was getting these inner doors fixed and strengthened up. Let's get this hung up in here so you can see what I got. So that's the gist of it. It's now screwed all the way across the top with the U-nuts and Tinnerman nuts. Across the bottom here is another row. And then these screws pass through the aluminum and go back into the original piece of wood that's fiberglassed inside. So those are done, both sides. So now the door, you can yank on it, there's no give on this whatsoever now. So I'm happy with those. Just kind of show you, got them both done, so I'm not lying. So there's the other one. So it's same thing. So then we're done. Dear. Keep hitting the zoom button when I'm trying to move around. That's the hole in the bottom of the cowling to let some heat out. I still want to wrap the muffler with some more of that ceramic blanket. So, time for a new creeper. My Summit Racing equipment creeper has seen better days. Alright, let me get that picked up out of the way. So right now I had saved the antifreeze, most of what I could get out, and been putting it back in. So everything I had's back in here, but it's still low. It's probably could take a half quart or so to top it back off. But and then the other day I was walking by and there was a tiny little crack in this thing, and I pushed on it and it went. So that was a brand new inner tube, and it just tore like a piece of paper. So I got some silicone coming. I found some really thin, like 1/16 inch or 32/32 inch, 3/16. They're supposed to be like pot holders that you can put your hot pans on when you take things out of the oven or off the stove. But they're pure silicone and they're thin, so I'm going to take these back out again. But I think what I'll do now is I'll put the Tinnerman nuts on there and I'll screw it, because that is a nice access to get into those adjustments for those gear doors. So that's kind of where I'm at. So that's all back done. What I should do is swing the gear again sometime, make sure everything's working after I get these things replaced. But for the most part, I think I'm about done with the plane. A little touch up. I gotta touch up the paint on that wing. The interior is all back together. Everything's done. There's no fuel in it. Tank's empty. What I did do today also was I took my aqua blaster out. Took it out and cleaned it all out real good. Flushed out all the old material, all the dirty water. And I had a hose blow on me the last time I used it. It was a real soft, flexible hose that came with one of the sand blasters. I think it was the siphon tube. But this was only like 50 or 60 psi. And that's what it did to it. It popped it. So I got to get me a piece of 1/2-inch hose. I like that because it was really flexible, and that wand is really hard to move around in there with that big like 1-inch hose and this 1/2-inch hose in there. It's really tough to move it around. But the reason for cleaning it out was I bought, let me get around here, 2 bags of glass media so I could replenish it. It's 45-pound bags, and it cost more to ship that than that was worth. There was, I think, $33 per bag, and I ordered 2 bags, and it was like $36 a piece for shipping. So it was like $145 for 90 pounds of media from my blast cabinet. So, but each bag, I only need half of it, so that'll be good for 4 changes. So this first bag I had, lasted me a couple years. But it goes down, and changing out the water is where you tend to lose it. It's hard to keep that stuff in there because it's such a fine media. It doesn't like to settle very well. So let me get that back up and running, because I got parts that I want to clean up on this here when I get started on this again. The time's coming to an end for this thing for the season. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it inspected before winter, or get it inspected so I can get it out of here before winter to get it over to the airfield. I don't want to take it to the airfield in case they find something they don't like, and I need tools that I can't take to the hangar because there's no power over there. I want it to be here, so if they don't like something, I can finish working on it here. Worst case scenario is it'll sit here all winter again, but I'll have to cover it up again with some plastic. But so that's kind of where I'm at. Like I said, as you can see, I kind of cleaned up this mess, but I still got some to clean here. So that's going to probably about do it for this week's update. Again, I had to change the tie rods on my car, and I also had to change an axle. You see the axle sitting there. Driver's side axle was going clickety clickety click when you make left turns, real sharp left turns. So I replaced that last weekend, and then I found the loose tie rod, so I replaced both of those this weekend. So that was all done yesterday. But this is where I'm at. I don't think there's anything left to do other than get the wings back on it. I can wait. I don't know. I'm going to see if the FAA, when they come up, if I can leave the wings off. Otherwise, I'd have to take it outside, and who knows what day they would show up, if it's going to be raining or snowing when they come out here. So, but I need to do the final rigging on the outboard flap and the ailerons to get them. I pre-adjusted the inner rods to the same length, so the problem was the stick was off center by about 1 inch at the top of the grip. So I don't think there's anything left to do now. Just I'm going to cut some more end number stencils in white, so I'll have an option of white like that 86 or black I've already cut out. You've seen them. So I can't really think of anything left. I got the number for the FAA regional office in Pittsburgh, so I should give them a call this week and see what they want to see and when they can get up here. If I have to put the wings on it, it has to be pulled outside to do it. And this weekend was really nice. Cold. I mean, it only got maybe 60 today. Yesterday was the same, but it was only like mid-50s. But it was still, with the door closed, it was warm enough in here to work. Today I was able to leave the door open all day. Yesterday it was closed all day, but finally got that stuff buttoned up. So I guess that's going to do it for this week's update, folks. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns about the videos, and I'll answer anything that comes in that feels need answered. Appreciate everyone taking the time to watch these videos, follow along. Thanks to all the new subscribers, and feel free to leave them likes and subscribe and all that good stuff, I guess. It doesn't really matter to me. So, alright, I'm going to cut her off here and get this thing uploaded and get it on tonight so you guys have something to see. And next weekend, I should be able to have the cowling and all that buttoned up, the radiator topped off, and get it outside, put some gas in it, and fire it up and check to see if my propeller engine RPM is correct RPM now and that the tax continues to work. So, okay folks, that's going to be it for this week. Stay tuned for the next one. For now, this is Dino Don out.